Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Big Air 01 coming at you with another video. I gotta do another video on my son's 2006 CRF50. If you watched my last video, you'll see that I had some gremlins in the carburetor. It was leaking. It was very inconsistent on the idle. It would idle really high at one point and then it would stop and then it would idle low. So it was just all over the place. I thought about doing a rebuild kit on it. But after talking to a tech at Honda, you know, a lot of these older carburetors, not that this is super old, but sometimes if the seat's gone on the float pin, then these things will just never stop leaking and you have to replace the carb anyhow. So I just figured for safety reasons, we'll get a new carb. We're going to install a brand new air filter. We're going to put in a fuel filter as well. And at the end of the video, we'll make some adjustments and I'll show you how to adjust your carb, and that'll be it. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. So some of the things that we're gonna do, got a brand new carburetor from Honda. It's the stock one. As you can see, it's completely brand new. Just for your reference, that's the model number. You're gonna need some screwdrivers, a 10mm bolt and an 8mm bolt to remove the carburetor. We're also gonna install a small little air filter or fuel filter. You're going to need a knife for that to help cut the lines. And then we've also got a brand new air filter because the bike had no air filter when I bought it. I made kind of a makeshift one, so that one's the proper one, so we're going to install that. And we're also going to use some foam filter oil to install the filter. Okay, so to take this carburetor off, there is two 8mm bolts at the front here, right on the intake. You've got your little Phillips to remove the clamp, and then we also have a 10mm bolt up here to remove the air filter cartridge. I'm going to catch this little sleeve that's here. Okay, so you're going to make sure your gas is off. You're going to pull the fuel line off. Put that up there so it doesn't leak. You got a hose on the back. That's just a vent by looks of it. And the whole thing should come out once you unhook this hose. Oh yeah, and you got to undo the top two. And the sleeve is, which we're going to be replacing because we have the new one. Okay, so the old one's out. It's going to be a great carb, hopefully. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut about an inch out of this hose because my filter is probably about an inch in length, so we're going to take off that much there. Okay, so I took the whole line off. I cut out an inch and I've used some zap straps to hold it on. Make sure when you're putting these fuel filters in that you're putting it in the right way. You can't really see it, but it does say flow that way with an arrow pointing. So don't make sure you put it on in the right direction that you would normally put it on. So this should help protect any debris that's coming from the tank, especially if you have an older tank. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to remove this sleeve because we got a new sleeve and spring coming for the new carb. So it's really easy to do. You're just going to push it up, push the sleeve all the way up, like that. Grab some pliers. There, the old valve's out, or the old sleeve is out. So we'll put the new sleeve on. So I got my new spring, which you gotta compress up there. Okay, I like to spring or compress the spring and then just kind of get it in there like that, and just to slide it in, and then you can take some pliers and just slide it all the way down and back in there. Then you're just gonna wanna check to make sure it's following back. Okay, so now we're gonna remove these, the air filter. So we got a screw here and a screw here for the box. Okay, so you can see my old filter that I kind of made here. Now we're just going to put some oil on this one. And just rub it in there. You don't need a ton. What a difference in the fit. It actually is round like. So I'm going to line up this mark with that mark. And then you're just going to line up this mark right here with that same mark. And put it back together. Okay, so we're ready to put it all back together. So I'm gonna put it so that the carburetor, the new carburetor, goes inside the boot already, so it's nice and easy to just get it ready. So it should look like something like that. And then you're gonna wanna, so one of the mistakes that I noticed when I bought this bike is whoever had it before me put the sleeve in wrong. So if you notice, there's a groove there that you can see. On the inside of the carburetor is also a little groove on this side. It's basically right here on the back side of it. You want to slide that groove over top of, or the little knob that's inside the carburetor, because if you don't, you could potentially damage your sleeve. So you just slip it back in there. Get it nice and tight. You can bring this boot back down. When you're putting on this plate, the outside of the carburetor goes on the smooth surface, and then the surface that has the O-ring goes towards the head over here. So I like to bolt up the head first. Just remember, when you're installing this, the nozzle goes down on the bottom. Just remember, there was a piece of wire with for a ground, by the looks of it, for your top bolt up here. Make sure you get that threaded through the bolt. Okay, nice and tight. We're going to tighten up the front first. Try to do it evenly if you can. Okay, nice and tight. And then you got your hose on the back, don't forget that. Then you have your hose for the gas tank. She's good to go. She's all back together. Now we'll take it outside and see if she fires up. We're gonna turn on the fuel. As you can see, I haven't opened it yet. And see sort of how much fuel is gonna go down in there. And let's fire it up. We're going to warm it up before we try to adjust any of the settings. Okay, so it starts up really easy. I checked to make sure, well, I've got it all set up now, I think. I wanted to point out a few things. I think there might be an air leak, and that's why this pilot screw has to be almost screwed all the way in. Unless that's stock. If you guys know anything about these bikes in the pilot screw setting, but basically this is almost screwed all the way in. It's just a tad off a little bit. It's obviously easier to tune these things when the motor's hot. You're going to want to use your idle screw to just basically, when you hear the motor kind of rev up a little bit, then you can back it off a tiny bit to get it to the lower idle, and that should be the proper setting for that. But I think I've got it tuned pretty good, and it starts really easily, so that's a good thing. There's no gas leaks out of the bottom anymore, and it seems a little bit more consistent. So let's gonna get the little man on the bike and see how it runs. All right, so looks like it's running pretty good. He's running around in first gear. This is the first time he's been riding the thing. It's not too bad. I got my 4-year-old on his little PW50. I got quite a few videos on that PW50 on my channel, so be sure to check them out on my channel. The CRF70, after putting the carb in, seems to be running pretty good, smooth. So it's we're quite happy with it. So if you want to leave a question or a comment, definitely leave it down below in the comment section. And if you like the video, drop a like and share the video. Hey, how do you like riding the bike? Right on. So don't forget to subscribe.